This is the Analysis in Chains with Nathan Williams and Neil Kieran.
Welcome to Analysis in Chains. I'm Nathan. All alone today. I was actually supposed to record a couple of interviews. Ended up rescheduling a few of them, so we'll have more interviews coming. So today, I'm just going to record a little bit about my thoughts. Today, I renewed my visa. I'm allowed to stay here in Germany. Hooray! You have no idea how much of a relief this is. One of the biggest challenges for anyone who is expatriated, anyone who is living overseas, is the thought of going to the immigrant's office, trying to renew that visa. What I have found is that the system is not always standardized. You go in and you bring your papers that you've collected of showing what you are doing and why you want to be there, and inevitably you will always get one or two papers that are missing or something that you did not expect you would need that you do need. I have been back to that visa office. It must be 8-10 times, something like that, in the past few years. And it occurs to me this is something that could be drastically improved by blockchain. I was thinking about this as I was sitting in line. I got up at 5 in the morning, went to stand in line at the visitor's office because I'm going to be speaking at a couple of events coming up. I'm going to have to travel a fair bit. And my visa was going to expire and I was going to miss my appointment. Couldn't get another appointment before January 29th, well after my visa expired. And so my first thought was, wouldn't it be interesting if the appointments were tokenized and people could buy and sell them? Secondary market for tokens, for appointment slots. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of unintended consequences that would come with that, but man, would I have paid for it. Instead of getting up at first thing in the morning. But the good news was that there is a system where you can get up first thing in the morning and just go and stand in line for and be served without having an appointment. So they have a certain number of slots like that. So, as long as you're willing to get up at 3 or 4 or whatever the time is. And I got there, and there were plenty of people in the line. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if you had a blockchain system for line place holding? I don't know. I'm trying to think through the unintended consequences of this. At first glance, if you got the first place in line, would you keep it or would you sell it? I wonder at what point the midpoint would be where most people would be comfortable trading their ticket for a place further back in line in exchange for some sort of monetary reward. It almost seems like an interesting game of sort of risk versus reward, or what's the cost of your time. You can almost calculate that, the cost of someone's time. However, the unintended consequence of that would be those who are poorest always end up at the back of the line in exchange for money. Although that's not necessarily the case, because if you're starting everyone on a level playing field with tokens, then maybe it's just about what people consider valuable, how people see the system. If you see the tokens as worthless, or if you see the money as worthless or whatever, then, it helps you gauge how people view the value of the token or the value of the time versus the value of the place in line. That would have helped. But I think, no one is going to play around with a government institution just to see how the game theory or the behavioral economics of the line placement or the appointments would work out. As fun as that would be, I think the real use case here is that most of the work that goes into processing visa applications And all of that sort of thing goes into checking documents. Checking to see, number one, is there a legal basis for someone to get a visa? Number two, do they have all of the required documents? And number three, are the documents authentic and correct? And if you can cut out a lot of that time by having a blockchain certification, by having people's registered documents be on the blockchain, then that would go a long way to help. Now, the challenge, of course, is if you've got people's registered documents online, such as a passport or an ID or a social insurance number, social security in the States, that can give you a lot of power over a person. So it needs to be encrypted in such a way that someone's wallet, the data wallet, if you will, would be protected. But having that sort of verified system would probably bring the efficiency up a huge amount. Now, the last thought I want to leave with is, what if all of my musings are solutions to problems that are moot? What if the role of the state becomes less and less as we go forward into the future? And what I mean is this. What is the state for? It's to govern. They take taxes, they pay for roads and infrastructure. Could that be moved to a decentralized system instead of a centralized one? I mean, I think in our hearts we are very fond of having a centralized government, of having people that we can call to represent us, but could we live in a technocracy? These are questions that people are asking now. Could we have state IDs that are not state IDs? Instead, you have a blockchain community issued ID. What about passports? What about rights given to those electronic passports? Maybe countries like Estonia that already have some sort of electronic residency and electronic ID could lead the way in this. And I can imagine a scenario where other countries, not wanting to be left behind, grant rights to holders of these IDs. That are on blockchain, that are verified by communities instead of by state entities. It's worth thinking about. Or maybe I'm just rambling and dreaming for a future technocracy so I don't have to stand in line at the foreigner's office again, but I'm very glad that that part is resolved. So thanks for sharing this little bit with me. Have a great day, and we'll be back soon with another interview and more talk about the future of blockchain and crypto.